This is Seth David from the world-famous Nerd Enterprises Incorporated, bringing to you a special screencast. This time we're going to talk about tips for standing out when looking for a job. Knowledge is power. Make an impact by learning more. Want some coaching or extra help on this topic or anything else you've seen me cover? Give me a call right now at 866-945-8070. I'll send you a link. You'll log in with me. We'll walk you through the web or whatever programs you need to learn. And I always record that live session with you so you can review it as often as you like afterwards. Hi. Okay, we're talking about, how do I describe this? An email I received with the question essentially looking for tips for how to stand out when looking for a job. Miriam writes in, "Hi, I came across your website from Twitter. I'm wondering if you can give me some tips to help me get ahead of the game, as in looking for internships and jobs. What will get me noticed and distinguishing aspects that will say, hey, this individual seems to be of value. I'm currently in my second year in college pursuing a career choice in international business." Thank you. You're welcome. So, what tips can I offer you? I can tell you that from my perspective, I frequently get people referring me bookkeepers, saying, hey, I think this person would be great for you. And my first question that I have for these friends of mine who are looking to refer me bookkeepers to work for me is, do they have a profile on LinkedIn? So certainly for sure without, and actually I don't think any of them who've been referred to me recently have actually had one. In one case, I think somebody went and set one up just so I'd have something to look at. But obviously that's not really what I'm looking for. I'm looking for somebody who's been active on LinkedIn, not just setting up a profile, but active on LinkedIn. And that's why on your screen here, I've got my LinkedIn set up to all the groups. Look at all these different groups I belong to. Now, do I participate actively in all of them? Absolutely not. No one would have that. I'd be spending my whole career. I'd be a career LinkedIn member. But I have picked one group in particular that I spend a lot of my time in. And in my case, it's called Successful QuickBooks Consultants. And when I do go in here into LinkedIn, this is the group I tend to go to. There's a couple reasons why. One, because I've gotten to know a lot of people who are in this group. Two, because I find for me, and you have to keep in mind where you're coming from on this, I'm looking for opportunities to be of service, to help people. So I'm looking for people who are posting questions or comments where I can go in and post a helpful response. It's not that often, to be honest with you, that I'm going in here looking for help. I've over the years become somewhat of an expert at QuickBooks and Excel, and so I feel like I have information to offer more than I'm somebody looking to get information. Although, absolutely, if I have a question I'm not sure about something, I certainly don't know everything. So I do come in here and ask for help on occasion. Usually the kind of help I'm looking for is with other stuff not related to QuickBooks, though, so I have other groups for that. I belong to a Camtasia group, which when I struggle with something in Camtasia, which is what I use to record these screencasts, that's where I go for help. So the point being, though, that you want to get involved and get active in a group that's that fits your career choice. So if you're looking for a career choice in international business, you might want to search groups for international business. And look what I've got. I've got a ton of international business groups that come up here right away. Some very specific and some more general. If you're looking for international business people in Germany, you might join the Luxembourg International Business Group. So, and obviously, if you're not, if whatever area of interest you have or whatever area you want to work in, search the groups for that subject. And then take a look. Look at the membership numbers too, because that gives you an idea of how active these groups are. Okay, so this one has a nice membership, 1,521 members. This one's a little smaller, so you want to take a look at that. And you're limited, I think, to 50 groups that you can join in LinkedIn. So you have to be somewhat selective, but that does leave a fair amount of room for more groups than you'll probably ever be able to be active in anyway. But, you know, generally speaking, you want to take a look and look at what the membership is like, because you want to obviously find groups that have a large membership, because more than likely the reason the membership is large is because it's active, because a lot of people participate. And that's what you're looking for. So definitely make sure that you're not just setting up a profile on LinkedIn, but that you're active. You know, you should have activity. You should be going into groups. You can also answer questions. Under More here, go to Answers. Look for people who are answering questions in your subject areas. So these are questions from people in my network. LinkedIn does this for you. So as you build a larger network, this will become more and more relevant. Another reason why it's important to have a lot of people in your network, because you'll be exposed to more. And in this case, you'll be exposed to more opportunities to be helpful and answer questions. So I know that's what I would be looking for. If I was looking at a prospective bookkeeper to hire, and I saw that that bookkeeper, that person, was very active in LinkedIn and joined the groups, first of all, I'd probably know them by now because of my activity in these groups. But either way, that's the first thing I'm looking for, especially in the professional world, is what are you doing on LinkedIn? You have to be on LinkedIn. So that's that's kind of part one of my get involved online, because even though your career may be in a profession that doesn't specifically speak to the internet and social media is how businesses are doing business. So I think whatever field you're in, it's so important to understand how social media is used in business and to be using it for yourself, to promote yourself, because like it or not, you really should be thinking of yourself as a business. Even if your intention is to be employed, you think of yourself as a business providing a service to that employer. First of all, it makes you feel a lot better about yourself when you approach it from that perspective. It makes you feel like what you're doing is more significant and important. It was that little change in mindset years ago when I was employed somewhere where I said, you know what, I'm going to start thinking of myself as not just an employee, but somebody who's providing a service to this company. And it changed my whole perspective. And that literally, when I look back, was really the beginning of my journey out of the world of employment and into the world of the self-employed. So hopefully that's helpful along the lines of LinkedIn. Some other things you can do, and I'll cover the rest very quickly. I think LinkedIn was the most important. Even if you don't have a business, again, go onto Facebook, create a business page. And I just picked a page that I liked recently because I know this gentleman, Steve Schraderbacher. But the point is, if you go to anybody else's business page, you'll see this button up here at the top right that says create a page. Go create a page. This way you can distinguish your personal from your professional life on Facebook, and you can create a page talking about what you're doing professionally. Even if you're not a business offering services, make the page about whatever it is that you do professionally. There's things you've done, experiences that you have that you can speak to. Even if you're still in college, you hopefully will have had some part-time jobs or internships or something giving you some relevant experience. Whatever you're doing, write about it. If your experience is that you've been looking for work, and everybody knows in this economy it's just terrible trying to find a job, especially if you don't already have one, then make a point of writing about that experience, and then talk about what your skills are. Talk about what you're learning in school insofar as how you think you may be able to apply that knowledge in the real world. But you think of this almost as a blog. Put up a post once a day, just something very brief every day about what you're experiencing, something you learned in a class. It'll help you remember the information you're studying in school. WordPress. Go to WordPress.com, set up a blog, and the purpose of that is going to be exactly the same as what I described here on Facebook. But a blog is kind of like your home base, where people can go to for, if they want more about you. So your Facebook page is kind of the little scaled down, more limited bits of information, and then your blog you should be writing, especially if you're unemployed, you have the time, you should be writing something every day, but at least write something once a week about what's going on in your world on the professional side. Definitely go to WordPress.com. I've done a number of videos on how to use this. So just search my YouTube channel for WordPress blog or blogging or blog or something like that, and I'm sure you'll find it. What else can I tell you to do? That's WordPress. Well, let's talk about the blogging world specifically. Like I said, post weekly or daily, and I am going to go off of a list that I've made here. You have more knowledge in your head than you realize. That's one of the points that I wanted to stress. That's why I made some notes before I recorded this video. Because a lot of us say, well, what do I have to offer? Especially if I'm in college, I don't have a lot of real-world experience. You have more knowledge in your head than you realize. So, just take a deep breath, relax, and think about that for a minute. And think about, what can I offer? What can I share? Guys like me are so far removed from school that if you're an accounting major, for example, you might be learning some stuff that you can offer me that would be helpful to me. Because in school, they're generally focusing on what are the hot issues that you need to know once you go out into the real world today. And I haven't been in school in, well, let's just say a long time. So there's very good possibility that you as an accounting major in school might have information that would be of use to me. In fact, write about that. Write about, here's what I'm learning in school that might be of use to somebody who hasn't been in school for a while. Ask your professors, what are the hot issues now that may not have been so hot 10 years ago. Do your research that way. And they might have insights there that you can then use and take and share about in your blog. So definitely your professors are there as a resource if you're in college. Classic interview question. The interview is going to ask you to describe a specific challenge you've had and describe how you overcame it. So when you're doing that, think about what you would say in a job interview and write that out in a blog post. because that would be really helpful in terms of just organizing your own thoughts around the idea, because you're likely to get asked that question. The other thing you should do, and you should really start off your blog with this, is answer the most important question: why? Why do you want to work? Why do you want to work in your chosen profession? Why do you want to revolutionize your field? Think in terms of what, based on your current knowledge of your field, is what could you change to make it better, and write about that, and write about why you'd want to change that. And finally, actually, each of these different questions should be their own post, and that's just to get you started, to give you a few ideas of what you can get started with. So as always, I hope you found this helpful. Miriam, if you have any other questions, feel free to email them in to me, and I'll be more than happy to give a response. Everybody else who's watching, post your comments down below. Let me know what you think. Give me your ideas. And if you have any questions, by all means, post them or email me, Seth@nerdenterprises.com. I hope you're having an absolutely fantastic day, and I look forward to seeing you on the web. This is Seth David from the world-famous Nerd Enterprises Incorporated, bringing to you a special screencast. This time we're going to talk about tips for standing out when looking for a job. Knowledge is power. Make an impact by learning more. Want some coaching or extra help on this topic or anything else you've seen me cover? Give me a call right now at 866-945-8070. I'll send you a link. You'll log in with me. We'll walk you through the web or whatever programs you need to learn. And I always record that live session with you so you can review it as often as you like afterwards.